Sound check. Now can you hear me? Welcome back, everybody, to Paranormal Planet. I'm your host, Jack Carey, and I appreciate you coming back. Last week we were dealing with or covering this cryptozoology field operation that we have now begun, and it's an amazing property. So, what we were able to do was make it down there this last weekend, and I was able to get some really good footage to kind of show you guys what this place is like. For those of you who have not tuned in before, welcome to Paranormal Planet Live. I'm your host, Jack Carey, and the founder of the Paranormal Intelligence Agency. We have been kind of on a journey together of late to begin this crypto field operation. It is now underway in earnest, and we couldn't be happier about it. So I was able to get some good footage. It was cold, it was rainy, it took a long time for us to actually find our way back onto this property, just because it's such a maze of roads and stuff back there. So it's I think that this place is going to offer some very promising results. That's my initial impression. There's every reason, historically speaking, to believe that there has always been a very strong presence of these creatures in that area. And I think that those of you familiar with cryptozoology will be in agreement when I say that what an amazing, amazingly pristine and beautiful habitat that this is for these creatures. So was able to break in a new investigation teammate, officially a field investigator with us at the Paranormal Intelligence Agency. And you'll get to see some of her on here as well. And, this week, some interesting things hit the mainstream as far as the UFO and ongoing UAP disclosure is concerned, something that we've also been discussing ongoing on this show. So let me go ahead and pull up the video I made for you guys. Now, I apologize for the echoiness on the little video I showed last week concerning the property. I had people asked to replay that with the good audio. So what I've done is I've actually taken that video sequence and put it at the beginning of the footage that we were able to get this last weekend. And like I said, I'm going to play it for you guys. And after that, we'll discuss that, and I'll move on to some of these other stories I have for you guys. I'm going to try to bring that up again. It's StreamYard on this one, guys. Actually, it's not me. So, but I'll bring this up again and we'll see if I can get the audio on StreamYard to actually play. So, if not, I'll try to load the file for you. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to. All right. All right, everybody, this is Jack, Paranormal Intelligence Agency, and this is Paranormal Planet Live. I am officially on the 1,000-acre property here. It's been a long day getting here, really, just because it's a maze of roads out here, and GPSs don't work real well, and all the gates that you do come to when you come to a gate are not really marked. So it's been a process, but we are officially on the what is now going to be our living laboratory. I am joined today with our new investigator, Brooke Edwards. Say hello, Brooke.
Hey, y'all.
Here she is. She's an ex-Marine, an accomplished hunter, and a woodsman. And she is going to be out here tracking with me a lot because she lives very close to where we are at, and she's a beloved family member of mine. And I couldn't think of anybody more suited actually to be doing this. So we're excited to have her on board, and excited to have you guys kind of come along with us. Like I said, this is our brand new operation, and we have just stepped foot onto what might be the best overall opportunity for cryptozoology in a really long time. So we'll keep going here, and I'll keep filming, and we'll be showing you guys a lot of the property.
That's the same mushroom I saw down there.
Yeah.
But it was picked.
Right.
And ate on.
Yeah, we found mushroom eaten on down by the pond that we're at now. This is pond number 2, and we're up on the high side of it, walking around the ridge here. It's just a sort of a wide open corridor that we've found back here. Alright guys, we're to one of the next ponds, and overall this pond just kind of has a different feel to it up here on top of the mountain. So you can see here what this particular spot looks like. Still the main road that you can, the only road here. So far we've not heard anything out of the ordinary. Taken some pictures and footage of what might be prints. And we're just scratching the surface of this huge plot of land. So I'm trying to see where Brooke is. And she's cutting up around the backside of the pond. And I'm going to join her here on the, going around the other side. Okay guys, hopefully you can hear me over the wind, but there's a nice breeze. I'm trying not to talk too loud. But we are at the first pond. Brooke, my other investigator, has actually made her way around to the other side of the pond. And she's going to meet me around this side as we look for any prints, tree structures, anything at all to kind of pinpoint exactly where on this property they are. So this is our initial footprint into the property. There's only the single road that goes the whole 1,000 acres. And there's a really spooky fog out today. Unusually cool, it's about 64. We'll pick it up down the road. Okay guys, we stopped again here for another look around. Been down a long road. It goes right through the middle of this valley. You can see how thick these bushes are. Again, we're down in southeastern Oklahoma, and it's actually a pretty nice, cool day today. We lucked out, got in the mid-60s, and there's a beautiful kind of a fog just drifting through the mountains here. Let's see if we can get some of this view. That's the valley, another valley down there. There's Brooke. We successfully completed the first pond. Nothing definitive there. There's some interesting unknown prints of probably big hog. Some big razorback back in there. So, and we're going to continue the initial exploration here. There's two different ponds that we're trying to get to that are going to be a bushwhack to get to them. So, pick it back up down the road. Okay, we're getting closer to this big ridge here. Come across a few deer feeders. Haven't seen a whole lot yet. It's a gorgeous day out here. And we're going to continue our way up the mountain. Alright, so we came across this. Looks to be a print. It has quite a deep impression. You can see from the side as I go in there. There we go. So, all right. Anyway, that gives you an idea, guys, what it looks like, what we're dealing with, how dense it is, how deep it is. And it's, it's one of those places that it presents a lot of challenges just because of how big it is. Mute mic. All right, can you guys hear me now? How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, now you can hear me. All right. I've got to get this this ancient microphone I have replaced. It's just so old. But anyway, like as I was saying, in muted condition there, that's the property. It kind of gives you guys a good overview of the situation, the type of terrain, how deep, how dense and thick it is there. There are prime water sources, so that's pretty cool. And because of that, we're going to be able to probably get lots of different animal activity. For instance, we picked up some bear print. We saw a raccoon walked right in front of the truck at one point that was not scared of us at all. Had some wild turkey go running through the woods while we were filming a clip. Had, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 really well fed deer go flopping across the road into the other side of the bush. So they definitely have a lot of food source there. And again, this is tradition. This is in an area that historically has a truly epic amount of Bigfoot activity. It's one of the major hotspots, really, historically speaking, all over the country. So it's one of the better spots. So that is something that we shall be continuing. Obviously, that's our main operation going forward. We have this amazing access to this area, and we're hoping really to be able to collect evidence that has been lacking up till now. So, of course, that's always the hope, I suppose, with every investigative team. But we're very excited about this particular opportunity. So, I was mentioning earlier, now there is the ongoing UFO, UAP disclosure. Everybody should be paying attention to. It's hard to do because of all of the other news that drowns it out. You are lucky, however, because the Paranormal Intelligence Agency, you guys are talking about my ghillie suit. It's a real tree hunting ghillie, basically. I mean, it's a type of ghillie. It's a modern day ghillie. I've got sniper-like ghillies, but this one's pretty cool because the air actually picks up the leaves if you stand still, and it makes you look like a tree standing there when you have the hood on. It's an excellent tool to use. So, but the Paranormal Intelligence Agency Facebook page, which I will bring up here for you guys, I collect all of the open source intelligence, stories that are out there floating around all through the week, every day, all day, as they pop up. And I will give you a view of what that looks like here. So, and you'll have to come over and like us on the Facebook page. Now, you'll see over on this, on my sidebar here, all of the different headlines that have been coming up. More UFO hearings. Congress might consider hearing from these 2 men. They're pointing out Dr. Travis Taylor and one of his colleagues, who is a gentleman who's really unknown to the public and who's been involved in black budget affairs for a long time. Dr. Travis Taylor is the principal scientist at Skinwalker Ranch, and he is been talking about his hitchhiker effect experiences in a series of interviews over the last week or so. There is a piece out on brobible.com talking about how UFOs disabled the nuclear missiles at top secret bases and how that was covered up. That's something I've talked about a lot. It's something that Harry Reid talked about on camera many times. Even one of the base commanders talked about them, turning the missiles off, etc. And it's one of the major reasons disclosure is happening now. So George Knapp on his Twitter feed, and this was on the 24th, stated that Dr. Travis Taylor thinks there are multiple unknown phenomenon at work on Skinwalker Ranch, and he confides about his own hitchhiker experiences and talks about working with his colleague Jay Stratton, who is the gentleman I just showed you guys. So along with that, lots of interesting things get posted here. If you weren't able to listen to the Paranormal Portal interview I did with Brent Thomas, who's a fantastic interviewer, that's listed on there as well. So there's a lot that's still out there that's hitting the news day in and day out. They are going to continue this flow of information. Here's another one talking about the Baltic Sea anomaly and how many people think that that's a crashed UFO. If you've not heard of the Baltic Sea anomaly, it is a very interesting piece of evidence that may in fact be an ancient spaceship that somehow almost became petrified at the bottom of the ocean. They're running a story on the U.S. Sun talking about how both U.S. and Russian military have fired weapons at UFOs. And that's an interesting piece because the most recent one of these was just last week. That's right. One of our fighters actually fired on a UFO just last week. Those of you familiar with the WOW signal, the famous WOW signal from Ohio State University and their radio telescope, they now believe that that signal came from a habitable star system. So there's all kinds of flow going on out there as far as UFO disclosure, paranormal activity stuff that you may just get drowned out with all of the other human drama that's going on. And you can find an accumulation of that on our Facebook page. This next week, I will be putting out, or will be producing, a full-length investigative video. And this is one I've been trying to get out for you guys for a really long time. And then the plans to move came along, and you can imagine the laundry list of things there is to do to get moved 1,000 miles from where you were and get relocated. Now, this one's the first one on the drawing board to present to you guys. Like I talked about last week, I'll be producing more of these and doing fewer of the Paranormal Planet lives, just depending on time. So this is an interesting one I will be presenting to you. It's about intelligence agents, all true information, but it's about intelligence agents who used paranormal means to collect sound intelligence information. And I'm not talking about remote viewing either. So I think you're going to find this story fascinating. Anyway, that is what I have for you today, guys. We will be planning another trip to the property very soon on the second stage. I hope to actually make it to the top of a few of the ridges that are just above the water sources where we were. We noticed some very large game trails where something big was definitely moving through there. We did notice some big panther track. So there's a big panther out there. Big bear track that we got a photograph of. So there's, this is a very, very active wilderness area. So anyway, look for the new video to come out, and I will put out for you guys when another Paranormal Planet Live is coming. And again, thanks for joining me. Till then, be careful out there as usual. You got to watch out for all the crazy people.